Good people, how are you doing out there? I hope everyone is well. It is one of your hosts, David Grunfeld, here with another episode of Song of the Week. I am joined by just one of my favorite people in the whole world, Jordan Bell. How we feeling today, my friend?
Yo, my guy Dave. I'm doing great, my brother. I got some good music, I think, for us this week. I went on another one of my infamous walks, right, where I toured the DMV for about an hour with my headphones in. One of the things I love about living out here is people watching. Yeah. There's great people watch. So I live in the Silver Spring area, just a little bit north of DC, and it's just a fun neighborhood. My neighborhood is super diverse, very Ethiopian, which is dope. Nice. But like I think I picked this song. It was either Saturday or Sunday. I went on one of my infamous walks and I just zoned out for like an hour and listened to a bunch of good music. So I'm excited. Man. I'm excited. I got some good stuff for us today.
You've been a long walker for as long as I've known you. Yeah. You're good for a good hour and a half stroll, which is a great way to kind of discover more about where you live and stuff you maybe not have seen. And I've been doing. My wife and I moved not that long ago, and so I've been doing something similar in our new neighborhood, and it's awesome. I think that's fun and a great opportunity to listen to some music and hit us with a song of the week. So let's start with you, Jordan. Why don't you let us know what you got going on this week for your song of the week?
All right, so for this week on Song of the Week, I've actually got two artists on the same song that I've been wanting to highlight.
Beautiful.
And it worked out good because both of these artists I have been going through their discography, trying to pick a song. And then somehow I didn't realize that they had a song together, right? So I stumbled upon this song. And my song of the week is going to be a song by Jai'len Josey and Matt McGhee. It's called Mixed Signals. It comes off of Jai'len Josey's EP, Conversations from a Payphone. I'm a big Jai'len Josey fan. I first got hip to Jai'len Josey probably 2 years ago. They featured one of her songs on one of my favorite shows, The Chi, in the Valentine's Day episode a couple seasons ago. One of my favorite episodes of that show. And she's got a album that came out a few years ago called Illustrations. And so she's got some songs on there that I really liked, and I was bumping that album for a while. And I hadn't heard a lot of her stuff recently. And then, like I said, the other day on my walk, I stumbled upon Jai'len Josey and Matt McGhee, Mixed Signals. Now, a couple things I like about this song. I really love the instrumentals on this song. It's an R&B song, but she's got these hip hop instrumentals that are really cool. What it reminds me of, Dave, and I don't know if you ever watched the show, but the show that Brandy did back in the day, Moesha. Sure. there was always these scenes where they were in like these like kind of lounges that people would hang out in. I don't know if teenagers actually hung out in lounges back in the day in LA, in like Santa Monica or wherever they lived on that show. But like there always seemed to be something cool going on, like a poetry reading or something like that. And so the instrumentals kind of give me that vibe. The drums and the bass line give me a real suave lounge, poetry lounge type vibe. And then, so the song is called Mixed Signals, and it's a great dating song. So Jai'len Josey, her first two verses in the chorus are all about getting mixed signals from this guy that she's been seeing, right? She's talking about, can this guy give her a clear kind of vision of what he wants from her. And then Matt McGhee, who's a really dope rapper, actually from the DMV. Matt McGhee, come mess with me, man. Come hop on the podcast. Wow. Matt McGhee bats cleanup on this song. He's got the last verse, and his verse is all about, I couldn't be more clear about my intentions with you, right? And as a single guy, that is dating in a nutshell, right? Like you feel like you're being clear, and it's not always the man that feels like he's being clear and the woman that feels like she's not being clear. Sometimes it's reversed, right? But like when you're dating and you're trying to navigate this world of, meeting people on these dating apps and meeting them in real life, and are we talking? Are we dating? All this stuff, it's all bullshit, right? But the toughest part about it is what's the message? What are you trying to tell me? Are you interested? Are you not? And so, the chorus in Jai'len Josey's verses are all about just being confused and getting all these mixed signals. And then Matt McGhee drops a really dope verse where, again, like I said, he's basically saying, like, I couldn't be more clear. Like, I'm interested in you. Like, let's get it popping. So that's my song of the week. Jai'len Josey and Matt McGhee, Mixed Signals, off of her EP, Conversations from a Payphone.
I love it. That's one of the it's got to be one of the classic all-time conundrums, right? Of where are we? What are we? I thought I was being very clear about what we were, what we are. Yeah, man. I've been married for a long time and not single for a long time. Shout out Sophia, love you.
I also love you, Sophia.
Yes, and she loves you too, Jordan. But even so, you know, I think that's a very human thing, right? Even in a relationship, I think you can have a lot of those types of things, long-term relationship. And I think like a lot of great art, when you're tapping into core human emotions, you know, there's a lot of gold to be found there. So that's a great pick.
Yeah, thank you, man. I think I think songs that push forward those narratives and like you said, kind of tap into something that you've felt before. I did a podcast the other day with a guy named Dave Love. You weren't able to hop on that one, but Dave Love has an album called Social Love Media. And one of the songs on that album, he's talking about a relationship that he sparked up with this girl through a DM, right? Like, I remember talking to him about that album back when it came out back in 2017. It was like, yo, at that moment, that song really hit for me because I was going through something very similar, right? I was dating this girl or seeing this girl that, like, I don't remember what platform I met her on, right? But somehow I ended up sliding in her DMs and like now this whole thing starts. So yeah, that's a fun song about relationships. And Jai'len Josey has one of the best voices. She actually, I believe she was trained vocally by our guy Dixon. I believe last time I was out in LA and hung out with you, I played some of her music in the background. And Dixon was like, yo, that's Jai'len. Like, I know her very well. I did some vocal training with her. So shouts out to Dixon. But she has, it's like she reminds me of Mary J. Blige a little bit with her voice. Like, she's got a very soulful voice, very smooth and beautiful. Like, if you haven't checked out Jai'len Josey, check her out, man. She's great.
I mean, Dixon, our guy, one of our old friends from way back, and Mary J. Those are pretty good company to be keeping, you know, when it comes to being a singer and a songwriter. So great shout, Jordan. I love it. I can't wait to check it out myself.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's hear what you got, Dave. What's your song of the week?
So my song of the week, I went a very different way with it. You know, we're in a challenging time in our country, I would say, to put it mildly. You know, a scary time for a lot of people. And so I've been drawn back into older music, protest music, music that I think is capturing the time we're living in right now, especially living in Los Angeles, being from Los Angeles. It's been really trying, you know, for a huge swath of the population. So I've been kind of in that headspace. Excuse me, kind of been in that headspace. And I know a while back, Bill did a Marvin Gaye song talking about the power of music and what it can do, and how important it is for artists to have a voice, you know, during challenging social times and the stupid shit that we're seeing happen. So I went with one of my all-time favorite songs. I think I told you before we started recording, probably a top 5 favorite or most meaningful song to me in my life, which is the song "A Change Is Gonna Come" by Sam Cooke, off the album "Ain't That Good News," from, I believe it's 1964, when that album came out. And "Change Is Gonna Come" is maybe the definition of a classic song. It's been covered and redone by countless artists because it's so powerful and poignant. To me, it's an example of you can't beat the original. You can't do it better than Sam Cooke did. I think Sam Cooke is one of the best just singers, pure singers ever to sing, at least in contemporary music, and for my money. such a empathetic and warm person and voice. He has this there's just a comfort to him singing that you hear even when he's singing about really difficult things. And the change is going to come is, it's in the title. It's talking about how even though things are difficult and bad and hard for a lot of people, racism or institutional oppression happening, a change is going to come. And with the right energy and unity and belief, people can get through a lot of things. People can get through anything. And with what's going on in LA and now around the country here in the US, it just feels more appropriate than ever, which, you'd like to think that a song made in the mid 60s wouldn't have so much resonance with what's going on in 2025, but society is society. And so a lot of those problems have continued to exist and sometimes get worse. But like I just said a moment ago, when Bill was talking about Marvin Gaye, this song transcends era, because it's doing what we just said about your song. It's tapping into these core human emotions of resilience and belief and even doubt, like part of the song is him saying, it's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, and it's like that line has always just stuck with me as such a powerful, evocative thing where it's like, that's the struggle for so many people. It's like, it can't get worse than this, but I don't know what's up there beyond the sky, which is the rest of that lyric. It's without fail, almost every time that I listen to it, it makes me emotional or I feel something about it. And as we've said many times on our channel now, I think one of the key purposes and values of any type of art is to make people feel stuff, right? Whatever that feeling is, stirring emotion in people with what you're able to put out into the world is one of the most pure and important things that an artist can do. And A Change Is Going to Come by Sam Cooke is just one of the best examples of that. Such a beautiful song, such a sad song, but also infused with hope, and it's not sad for the sake of being sad. It's being honest and reflecting on the world, but with an eye towards, a better tomorrow, which I think is what we all are striving for and want for as many people as possible. So, my song of the week is an oldie, but an absolute classic. Change Is Going to Come by Sam Cooke. If you've never listened to it or you've never heard the original version, like I would rarely say this, but like drop what you're doing, spend 3 minutes and listen to this song because it's so powerful.
No, that's a great one, Dave. And as you were talking, I was thinking so much of what we're doing with Good People content is celebrating art, right? If you think of the shows that we have with obviously this one and then Reboot and some other stuff that we have coming up that may be out by the time people hear this, but it's a celebration of art, and a song like that is such a unique piece of art because it kind of represents what art is supposed to do, which is have different meanings to different people at different times, right? Like what that song meant when Sam Cooke sang it is different, but also the same from what you're referring to now, right? He's referring to a different struggle, but the struggle that you're referring to is drastically similar to the struggle that he's referring to. And that's the epitome of what you're looking for, with an artistic vision is to be relatable to so many different things. And, that song's probably written in the 60s, right?
64.
64.
Yeah, 64.
Album came out in 64. We're in 2025. And the stuff that we're dealing with today is so real. And those issues aren't going away. We're not to date ourselves, but I will a little bit here, but we're coming off of the weekend where the two government officials were shot and killed in Minnesota, right? Like there's still so many things that are going on that are so terrible. And a change is going to come, right? Like things are going to change. Eventually things will get better. But eventually those problems will recycle themselves just like the art, right? The art recycles itself. My first thought when I think about that song is also the movie Ali. There's a really, really good scene in the movie Ali where that song is included. Yeah, that's a good pick, man. That's a really
Thanks,
good
man.
pick. I like
Yeah,
that one.
thank you. Yeah, it's a truly iconic piece of music by a really iconic artist. And I think yeah, there. You know, I was lucky enough. A friend of mine, friend of the show, Terrence, had me or invited me to a screening of The Last of Us, which is a TV show that's based on a video game. Happens to be my favorite video game of all time. There's two, one and two, and uh, people had strong opinions about the second game. But putting aside the like analytical critique of it, one of the themes in both of those games is kind of what we're talking about in the TV show, and I think what this song, why it's still resonant and or has resonance and is powerful today, is this idea of like cycles, you know, and this idea of things being the more you fight change, the harder it feels. But when you acknowledge that it's inevitable, we do, as people individually and collectively, we do recycle things, right? We recycle the issues and we recycle the hope and resilience that it takes to get through those issues. And so, yeah, anytime any artist is tapping into stuff like that, I think it's important, you know, and it's worthwhile. It's valuable. And so, yeah, it's brought me a little bit of, I'm not going to say peace, but like reflection, time to reflect and view what's happening out in the world right now through the lens of art, through the lens of people who are able to ingest pain and output beauty, you know, or output something that's going to make people think, which is just incredible. And so, yeah, Sam Cooke is one of the all timers, and that song is a true classic.
Yeah. And I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here, and I don't have an answer to this question. Can you think of a song, a more recent song that has that type of meaning, like the Sam Cooke one?
Yeah, I think there's a few. I mean, you know, like, there's, you know, I think Rolling Stone did a list of like 100 greatest protest songs ever.
Sure.
You know, I think there's a bunch. A lot of Bob Marley's music, I think, taps into a lot of that. You know,
Redemption Song by Bob
Redemption
Marley.
Song. You know, Get Up, Stand Up. You know, there's and even just the essence of his music. You know, is like there's like rebellion like infused into it. To go even for, you know, like to be hyper local to where I grew up, and you know, I'm from LA, and Sublime, the band Sublime, who's from Long Beach, Garden Grove, not too far away from LA. You know, they have a song about the LA riots in 1992, and I think it's not specific to a song necessarily, but there's kind of a rebellious streak in their music that, while rebellious and kind of in your face sometimes, it's also very like island infused music and has like a Southern California, Hawaiian island energy to a lot of their music, almost like a reggae adjacent kind of sound, which like softens the edges a little bit, not in a way that it blunts the message, but in a way that it makes it something that can be timeless, kind of in the way that we're saying, you know, Bob Marley and Sam Cooke are. Obviously three very, very different artists, but all kind of like having that spirit behind it. Yeah, I mean, I when I think, you know, even more, a song that I did on a previous episode, the last time I think that I was on Song of the Week, which was the Terrace Martin song. You know, that whole album, you know, with Robert Glasper and a couple other really, really talented people, you know, I think that's protest music in its own right, you know, which is kind of doing what I was talking about with Sam Cooke of, you know, ingesting horrible shit and turning it into something that can be relatable for people who aren't either directly experiencing that or who are and need solidarity or a way to feel more connected to their community. And so, yeah, those are, I'd have to think a little bit more to get
super
a little bit more dialed on that. But yeah, I think that's part of it being a core human emotion, right? Is like 50 years, 100 years go by, there's still certain things that people will always relate to, people will always be able to connect with or dislike one way or the other, because it's part of being a human, you know, and that's beautiful. Even when it's hard, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Two songs that come to mind, and these aren't protest songs, but they're songs that are kind of self-fulfillment songs. And these songs, I think about my mother when I think about these songs. But Nas, I Know I Can.
Sure.
And then I don't know if you're familiar with this one, Jaheim Fabulous. They're both they're both songs that include children. And my mom being an educator and like having this love for the youth, especially like Black youth who get constantly overlooked in society, obviously. Both of those songs are like uplifting songs trying to get kids to kind of understand their value, which again, those aren't protest songs, but they're songs of the same ilk of trying to portray this message that's super important. I'd have to really sit back and think about some protest songs, but those two come to mind for sure.
In that vein, I'd put something like maybe like All Right, by Kendrick in that category of like, it's not a protest song. It's not even necessarily like a political statement or anything like that, but it's common, it's doing again what we talk about all the time. It's like, what do artists do? What's the real value of art? It's putting that mirror up to society and saying, this is my take on what I'm seeing play out in the world. Like it, dislike it. Here it is, and when it's done well and it's done effectively, it's timeless. It really doesn't have to just be about a certain time period or event or thing that's happening. It's about our experience as people, which is always, like I said a minute ago, that's always worthwhile, whether you're All Right, top of the charts, big time superstar, or you're writing poetry. There's definitely some like Never Let Me Down by Kanye. That's another one that's a good one. Jumps to mind. That spoke. I'm totally blanking on the name of the artist who does the spoken word poetry in that song, but
Jay Ivy.
Thank you. I knew that. It was just buried in there somewhere. But Jay Ivy,
that's the first album that like I really, really dove deep into. So I know that one well.
No, it's a great album and it's a great song. And, I think that hits on a lot of these things that we're talking about too. So it's important. And I think, like, I think I said last time I was on as well, like now more than ever, it's so important for people to show up, whether that means protesting in the streets, going to buy groceries for people who can't go outside because they're worried about being accosted or assaulted or whatever else may be, or channeling those emotions into expression, that's going to be meaningful and connect with people. Now's the time, now's the time to get our Sam Cooke on, and face these things in an honest, but authentic way, which I think is what that song represents to me.
Yeah. No, great pick, man. Great pick.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
That's a good place to stop right there for Song of the Week, I think. Thanks everyone for tuning in to Song of the Week. Again, hit the link in our bio for all of our other platforms, Instagram, Patreon, whatever you want. We've got it. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. My name's Jordan. This is my co-host David. Until the next time, we're out of here. Peace.
Love you guys.